is Channel 4, signing on.
Hello, welcome to Deaf World. One of the most exciting things for us to see is new developments in deaf television in other countries. This week it's a programme from Australia called Deaf Focus. We won't tell you too much about it because the presenters themselves will explain what they're trying to do. It's a pilot programme, which means it's a first attempt to make something which you hope will develop into a longer series. It was made by the same people who made Passport Without a Country, the documentary about children of deaf adults, CODA, which we showed a few years ago on Deaf World to great acclaim. So, with that pedigree, it should be good. You shouldn't have too much trouble with the signing. Although deaf Australians proudly claim Auslan, Australian Sign Language, as their own separate language, it does have its roots in BSL. All right, sitting comfortably, eyes in focus, we're proud to present the first broadcast anywhere in the world of Deaf Focus.
Hi, I'm Julie Lyons. Welcome to Deaf Focus, Australia's first television program designed especially for deaf people. We've all been dreaming of this for a long time, and now, finally, we have our own program. This edition is being produced jointly by Griffith University and the Queensland University of Technology, here in Brisbane. Many overseas countries have their own deaf TV programs, and we've already established links with several of these. There'll be more about them later. This program has two hosts, myself and Mike Canfield. He'll be joining us from Sydney. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Julie. Hi, everyone. For this pilot program, we've decided to focus on Australia's National Deafness Conference. This conference happens every year and just gets bigger and bigger. In 1994, the conference was held in Sydney, and there were lots of interesting things happening there. Let's have a look and see what happened. Welcome to the National Deafness Conference, right here at the beautiful Novotel in Sydney. These people have worked really, really hard to get everything ready on time. Over 270 people have come from all over Australia to attend this conference, and it looks like it will be really exciting. Let's ask some of them what they think of the conference.
In the past, these things were all run by hearing people, and I wasn't really interested. But now more deaf people are getting involved. I look around and they're running the show. Everything's being organized by deaf people. No problem. The future's looking good, so I'm really happy.
I came here to do some volunteer work.
I think it's really good.
Kuwaiti deaf people have sent me to the conference to learn everything about the deaf in Australia and bring what I learned back to Kuwait. Information about deaf people, hearing people, education for different age groups. I'll bring it all back to Kuwait and pass it on to others. I think they'll be pleased.
Wow. Looks like everyone's here for a really interesting and stimulating time.
Hello, and a special welcome to Australia's first programme for deaf people from all of us here at Sign On, Channel 4's programme for the deaf community in Britain.
We make 26 programmes a year covering news and current affairs, leisure and entertainment, sign language, poetry and issues of interest to the deaf community.
We're delighted to see more programmes for deaf people anywhere in the world. All the best to all of you in Australia. May your programmes keep on growing.
Many people came to the conference to see Dr. Jirka Anderson, a special guest from the USA. Who is Jirka Anderson? He's the president of the World Federation of the Deaf, the international advocacy organisation for deaf people, which is affiliated with UNESCO. The Australian Association of the Deaf is a member of the World Federation of the Deaf, so Jirka is really the president of our World Deaf Organisation. We were interested to know what Jirka thought about Australia, so we invited Colin Allen, then president of AAD, to conduct an interview. There are actually two interpreters working here. Jirka is signing American Sign Language and has an American interpreter. Colin is signing Australian Sign Language and has an Australian interpreter.
How do you see the Australian deaf community compared with other deaf communities around the world?
When I came to Australia for the first time in 1988, my first impression was that the deaf community here in Australia looked very similar to what I'd seen in England. The organizations and societies and so forth reminded me very much of clubs in England and in Scotland.
What advice or suggestions or help would you offer to the board of the Australian Association of the Deaf?
I was very happy to hear that AAD was established as a nationwide organization for, by, and of the deaf. That's good news. But what I'm not happy with is the low membership. I want to see AAD really build its membership.
Hello Australia, we're from Denmark, from Døve Film Video.
Congratulations with your new TV program for deaf people. We hope that you'll be very successful now and in the future. Good luck.
Last May, there was another interesting event in Sydney, the National Deaf Youth Conference. Here's Mike to tell us more about it.
This is the Coleroy Centre on Sydney's northern beaches. Beautiful. There are lots of people here doing small group workshops, attending meetings, involved in all sorts of things. Now, where are all the deaf people? What's your name?
Hi, my name's Tamara, from Melbourne.
From Melbourne? Are you one of the reps?
No, there are 5 people here from Melbourne.
What do you think of the conference?
Oh, it's fantastic, lovely. I like the view of the beach, you know, and I like the rooms here.
What's the most important thing you've learned here?
Oh, about AAD. I've been really amazed because they've given me the right information very clearly.
What's your name?
Gary Ware, from Perth.
From Perth? Well, what do you think of the conference?
Very interesting. I'm learning a lot. I'll have to get the young people in Perth moving. There's nothing there yet. I'm learning heaps, so when I get home, hopefully it'll take off. I'm looking forward to it.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
You organised this conference, right?
Yeah.
Wow, lots of work.
Yes, lots of work. I just got the bill. It's all right.
How did you start organising this?
Actually, this is not the first Deaf Youth Conference we've had. We had the first one in 1990. This is the second one. AAD, the Australian Association of the Deaf, has always wanted young people involved. They say we're too old now. We want to know what the youth issues are. So, the 1990 conference was a success, yes, but AAD at that time was a bit new and couldn't get the impetus going. So we tried again to get more funding. We failed a few times, but this year we finally got some from the Queen's Trust. We got the funds to make it happen.
The National Deaf Youth Conference continues here for 3 days. Then all these young deaf people will go home with all they've learned and share the knowledge and skills they've gained from the conference with others in their states. So, if you'd like to know more about it, ask them.
From Sweden and from the Swedish National Association of the Deaf, we want to give you who watch this program on the other side of the earth our kindest regards. We want to welcome you into the community of countries that produce television programs for the deaf in sign language, our language. Good luck.
Back at the National Deafness Conference, there was a lot of interesting discussion. Some of it controversial. For example, about the relationship between deaf and hearing impaired people. The government tells the two groups they must work together, that if they want money, they should work together in one organisation and not have separate organisations. But there are a lot of different opinions about this. At the conference, there was a panel discussion on the topic, Deaf and Hearing Impaired People. Are we a family?
The more we work together, as in a large deaf and hearing impaired family, the more society will be aware of the needs of deaf and hearing impaired people and meet those needs. In a large and visible group, we can no longer be ignored. They are the things about family that have an impact on me, and I look at the two communities, deaf and hearing impaired communities, and I think, is that a family? And I think, no. There is no shared experience in the same way. We don't have the important people in our backgrounds in the same way. The strength of tie is not the same. So I don't really think that that analogy of deaf and hearing impaired people being family doesn't quite fit. It doesn't mean that they have no connection, but I'm just looking at the analogy of family. So I was trying to think of another one. If we look at neighbours, and I think really that's a better word.
But this conference wasn't all heavy discussion and debate. No. People had a good time too. Everyone is here tonight for the conference banquet. A time to relax and chat, meet old friends and make new friends. Some very special awards are being announced right now. Take a look. Look.
The winner is Karen Lloyd. I remember my mother always talked about Karen Lloyd. She got involved in many things, and now that's great. You've got it. Congratulations. When I first arrived in Sydney, I went straight to the deaf community. I'd never been involved in the deaf community in the past, not at all. The first person I met was Dot. She became like my deaf mother. So she encouraged me to sign, encouraged me to get involved in the deaf community, introduced me to people. It was just wonderful. Plus, award of recognition from the deaf community is also special for me. I'm a late comer to the deaf community, so thank you.
Hello to all of our friends in Australia. I'm Gil Eastman.
And I'm Mary Lou Novitsky. We're the hosts of Deaf Mosaic, America's Deaf Television Magazine program.
We're here on the campus of Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C., and our program is nearly 10 years old. We're seen throughout the United States on the Discovery Channel cable network and public broadcasting service stations.
Over these 9.5 years, we've produced many, many stories about deaf people, our language and culture, not only here at home, but around the world. In fact, a Deaf Mosaic production team visited Australia when the World Games for the Deaf were held nearby in New Zealand. I hope we'll have a chance to come back and visit you again sometime soon.
As you begin your own deaf television production in Australia, we wish you much luck and success. I hope we'll be able to share program segments and ideas with you so that you in Australia can see what's happening here in the U.S. and we can learn more about deaf life down under.
Television is bringing the deaf world closer and closer. We congratulate you as you begin your own program. Welcome to the club.
Well, that's it for our first Deaf Focus program. We hope you enjoyed it. Many deaf people have said they'd like to have a regular TV or video program giving news and information about the deaf community. As you've seen, many other countries have TV programs for deaf people. Now, we feel it's time Australia had the same.
We've enjoyed making this program, and we're keen to hear from all of you about what you think. We need your feedback, because we can't make more programs like this unless you give your support to get more funding. So please write or telephone and tell us what you think. Here are the details. We hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations to Deaf Focus for a really lively and interesting pilot program. That was made last year, but in spite of the high quality and despite the desperate need of deaf people in Australia for their own program, the producers are still trying to persuade one of the Australian broadcasting networks to put up funding for a series. In fact, even that pilot program has never been broadcast in Australia. We in Britain are the first to see it. Lucky for us, but what a shame for them. And even once they're established, it seems that deaf programs anywhere can't take survival for granted. After 10 years of superb service to the deaf community in America, Deaf Mosaic is being axed. This month sees its last broadcast. Discovery, the satellite channel on which it's shown, has decided that Deaf Mosaic no longer fits its requirements. How ironic that so soon after welcoming another country, Australia, joyfully and hopefully to the club, Deaf Mosaic itself is being killed off by a decision in which deaf people had no part. Our friends at Gallaudet University will go on making programs, but these may not be necessarily broadcast. Later in the year, we hope to bring you that poignant final program from Deaf Mosaic. But for now, all that's left is for us to wish Deaf Focus and other deaf program makers everywhere the very best of luck. Till next week, bye-bye.